Okay, gang. Today I have one that I'm excited about. Today I have fresh green almonds. So most of us know almonds as just like a snacking nut. Well, this is the fruit that the nut comes from. So it's kind of fuzzy, like a peach, and that is because um, almonds and peaches are believed to be very closely related ancient ancestors. Let me see here. Yeah, both peaches and almonds are thought to have evolved from the same ancient rootstock. So that's why it has kind of a peach fuzziness to it. Let me see if I can get it to zoom in on it. Come on. It's not quite doing it. That may not show up, but it's got a peach fuzziness to it. And so there's different types of almonds. There's wild and bitter almonds that apparently contain high levels of cyanide, and you're supposed to cook down those ones apparently to break down the cyanide so it's safer to eat. Um, and some reading will tell you that you have to eat a lot of like any given nut for it to become a lethal amount. But at the same time, if the recommendation is to cook down those almonds, then you may want to do so just for safety's sake. The green almonds, however, these ones are the ones that, as I understand it, are the ones that our snacking almonds come from. Now, the way this works is in the wild, this fruit will naturally break open and the seed will kind of pop out. And I'll see if I can find a picture of this happening naturally to share it. And I have also read that you can eat and cook with the whole fruit. I'm gonna try this straight up. It's apparently sour and is best dipped in salt to balance the sour, but I'm just gonna try it straight up. And then I'm gonna cut some of these open and get the almond nut out and see how I like it. So I live in California, and a lot of the United States, actually most, if not all, of the almonds that are distributed throughout the United States are grown in California. And they have certain laws that almonds are supposed to be pasteurized, which is just a process, as I understand it, in which the almond nuts are heated to a point to kill pathogens. I have heard that they taste better unpasteurized. So I'm going to find out that here myself, because those laws were passed. I'll have to look it up again. I think it was in the early 2000s or late 90s where almonds had to start being pasteurized. So I imagine that when I was a kid, I probably had unpasteurized almonds, but at some point, what I know as almonds has always been pasteurized after that point. So I probably don't remember the difference, or maybe the difference is not strong enough that I would be able to pick it out. But people that are, I guess, almond aficionados will tell you that unpasteurized almonds are better. So I don't know. That's a little in the weeds. So I'll see if I can tell the difference. I imagine it's going to taste a little green, versus maybe some of the flavor is lost in the pasteurization process. It's a bit fruit nerdy, but that's what you guys come here for. So I'm gonna try not to cut my hand open as I try to get this open. I've had these refrigerated, but if I were to leave them to their own devices, I think they would probably split open naturally. Here we go. Come on. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a piece of the fruit and try it. Texture-wise, it's not giving me a lot of there's not a lot to it. I'm gonna have to wash that down. There's actually a little bit, there's barely any pulp to it on the inside. There's like a hint of sweetness, but I'm not super excited about it. And there is that, I'm not sure I would call it sour. Let me get another little piece. It's not sour like a citrus. It's more sour and bitter because there's just nothing much going on. Okay, I've peeled off the skin of one of them. Here is the shell, or the nut inside the shell, rather. And I've got this cracked open, and we're gonna get the almond nut itself out. Come on. Making me look bad. There we go. Okay. This is kind of big, actually. There's the almond. So here's the green almond, and here's the nut. So every almond you've ever had has come from a fruit like this. So let's get the taste test of the unpasteurized almond with all its flavor glory. Okay. Yeah. I immediately can tell the difference. Wow. Okay. Okay, so that's way better. That's way better than a pasteurized almond. Actually, there's some nuances in there. Let me see if I could get another one out. That took me a little bit of time. So while I'm working on this, I'll describe the flavor nuances that I was experiencing there. So, since it's fresh and unpasteurized, it's got, okay, I'm gonna stumble trying to describe this. It's not dry. It's got not a juiciness to it, but it's got, maybe that's the right way to describe it. It's not juicy in that it would drip with juice, but it's got like a juicy aspect to it. Like you feel those wet sensations when you're biting through it. This one's gonna be a little trickier. I should have brought my nutcracker. I think so. That's the main thing going up into it is there's less crunch because it's not a dry almond. And it's got that juicy aspect to it. I think the biggest thing is the aftertaste. As you're finishing chewing it, you get that classic almond taste. That almond extracty taste is coming out towards the end, and it's really good. And you do get that with pasteurized and dried almonds, but they're not like this. This is a step up from regular almonds that you could get at the store. All right, hold on. Concentrate. No, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna cut myself. Anyway, I'll probably have to use the nutcracker for this. But I get the hype on just one. I can tell the difference. It's more juicy, not as in dripping, but in that you feel that sensation on your tongue when you bite through it. I was expecting it to taste like green-ish or vegetal. It didn't taste like that. It still tasted like an almond. And then the aftertaste was probably the most significant thing. Like it was stronger and I think more pronounced than a normal almond that I would have access to. So that's huge. I was not expecting that. I wish I could get into these easier, but it's kind of worth it, because that's a totally different experience. I should be doing this with a nutcracker, not a knife. But in keeping with the tradition of struggling in these videos, here we are. So if you have a chance to try these, I would recommend it. It's going to be a little bit of a project to get into them, but these are good. These are definitely good, and it's not the same as a pasteurized almond that you would just get out of like a bulk section or a box. This is something different. But now I'm rambling. I'll leave it at that. It's good. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.